Hello, hello. Good morning, beautiful people. Get my coffee. We're going French press today, and I am so excited to talk about how couple sessions enhance already extraordinary relationships. Because I was getting into a conversation with someone today, and we're talking about the work that I do with couples. And she's like, I'm already in an amazing relationship. We have the best communication. We have such a good foundation. How can you help us? And so I wanted to speak to this because the way that I see it, it builds. A lot of my content, a lot of my work is centered around communication. Why? Because I want to first give you all the tools as a coupledom. Whether you're in a couple or you're single or not, you're still going to get value from this, or maybe you're dating, to work on the communication piece. Because at a foundational level, when we work on our communication, it's going to allow us to create conditions to have relationships that are built on trust, where there's mutual resonance, that are inviting the other person to want to share more of themselves. I'm doing this motion, open their hearts more. And that, once you have that, once you work through the conflicts, once you have a solid base of understanding each other, once we work through in relationship the triggers, the projections, the shadows, we do the deep inner healing. If you're already past that as a couple, oof, then we get into polarity. What is polarity? Polarity is what creates passion in relationship. Polarity is that spark that creates magnetic attraction. And we can't work on polarity as a couple. You cannot work on polarity, true polarity work of deepening the passion, creating conditions where there's continuous mystery and excitement and intrigue, where you're always wanting to learn more and your partner's continuously leaning in and they're uncovering new things about you and you're uncovering new things about them every day, and everything's exciting and you're continuously wanting to show up for each other in this deep space of love. That is so good. And that is the goal. And that is at the core of the work I do. And it builds, it elevates. So if I'll just say right now, if I'm speaking just about communication right now, it's understanding, okay, we're building the solid foundation. We're building the building. We're refining the building. So then, as partners, when we feel good in that house that we've built, then we can really dream. Then we can really create magic together. Then we can rule the world in whatever way we want to be. We can play whoever we want to play. And this is ours, baby, for the taking. And the sky is the limit with what we can accomplish as a coupledom. And so the couples that I work with who have already that really solid foundation, it doesn't mean you can't enter into this space. It doesn't mean that whenever you come into the space of couples work, that you have to come in with something heavy to talk about. That's why I left therapy years ago. Because I didn't like a dynamic of I always have to come with something negative. What if you don't have anything negative? What if you guys are loving each other up? There's actually no conflict, and instead you want to work on finding a new edge as a couple. That's exciting. And I do that in my work. I was trained in somatics and in tantra for couples and couples transformation. So in my work, we do body-based practices, different kinds of practices to deepen the connection with the couple, whether that be even like simpler things, the eye gazing, belly to belly breathing, different kinds of practices of touch, but also some of the crazier things, exploring an edge. We have a whole session we could do on exploring an edge for the coupledom and finding a way to tune into that edge. Yoni massage, lingam massage, I've done it all. Exploration practices. And I still do it with couples. And then, granted, it's also why I have longer containers, because it builds, right? It takes also time with your coach to build intimacy. I don't just go straight into those practices, but those are on the table in this work. Now, here's what I love about having a third party. Why do some people have a kink for being witnessed, for making love in public? It's exciting. It allows you to actually deepen the intimacy as a couple when you also have a third party there who is capable of also in conscious of polarity dynamics and navigating a space. But what I love is intimacy can feel sometimes too heavy. It's not as fun if it's, oh, me and you partner, let's do this sexy practice together, but I'm going to facilitate it and be in it, or I'm going to, be the one who's leading it. It's a different energy than when you get to be held and led. And it kind of lightens the space and brings a little more play, and you get to be witnessed. It's kind of this interesting dynamic that adds polarity. It adds an element of polarity to the partnership. And we don't often think about that. And that's what I love about it so much, is it gives you the chance to see and be seen. It gives you the chance to be witnessed. You also get to witness your partner in a way that you might not when it's one-on-one, when it feels too heavy, and they get to witness you. And so I encourage couples to, they make out in front of me. They dance in front of me. I have them get up and do salsa dance in front of me. I encourage them, if I ask a question, to put me on mute, to talk amongst the two of them, to figure out if they want to, how they want to answer it as a coupledom. You also think about it like this. Oh, and hi, beautiful. I'm so happy to see you here, Megan. And thank you for joining. Pop an emoji how you're feeling. And no, it's not Megan. It's Dora Hilder. I adore you, sissy. I can't wait to connect with you next week. And okay, think about this dynamic. You go out with partner. Why is it so fun in your coupledom to be with friends, other couples? Yeah, thank you for the love, sister. To be with other couples. Because it allows as a coupledom, you guys to deepen through the space, through the separation. I get to witness my partner in amazing conversations with other people. They get to witness me. We get to connect with other people together. That's what that element it adds when I have couples in my space. It allows them to deepen their connection, their already incredible connection that they have through having me there, through getting to experience moments of intimacy where there's also some aire, some air in between, so that those fuego flames can fan. And they can't fan when it's one-on-one, when you're both doing some intense eye gazing or belly to belly breathing together or some tantric practice. But to get to be witnessed, there's a kink in there. I love that you dig it. I'm excited because, I'm for you and for anyone who joins late or anyone who watches the replay, halfway through too. It's this topic of couples are always like, the ones who have amazing relationships have resistance to doing this. It's not really work, it's play, but to entering these spaces because they don't know where they can grow from there. And so to really remember that it depends obviously what kind of facilitator you're dealing with, but you don't have to come with negative. It's coming to elevate and to enhance, but also giving spaciousness in both. So I like to work with practices, fun practices to deepen the connection, to bring more passion, more novelty, more excitement, more play, but also spaciousness for things to come to the surface. Because, for example, something that came up in a couple session of mine last week was the feminine being wanted the masculine being, when the intimacy started getting heavy, when it started getting sexual, he got really excited. And she wanted to slow down those dynamics. And so when there's also spaciousness in a session for both conversation and practices and things that just bubble up, that came up. And so we got to find ways for him to work through how to build her desire slowly, how to build the tension that turns her on. It may not turn you on if you're watching this, or maybe you're like, yeah, I want some of that tension. How do I build that tension with my partner? And it's a dance, it's a learning of how to build that polarity. And so that's why I love to play with this combination of the mystery of, let's see what's in what the space wants to feel. Let's see if there's anything that comes that we want to bring to the space, yet also having practices that we can do, that a couple can do with whatever the goal is in that moment. So I'm really excited for more content on polarity to come, but in my mind, honestly, I love it. My third book is on this topic, and the books build because it builds in relationship. We got to first work on the solid foundational elements. We got to work on the trust. We got to work on the healing. We got to work on building the connection. We got to work on the communication, verbal and nonverbal, to also deepen the passion, the desire. And then it's like, now let's play. Now let's freaking elevate. Now let's take this relationship and burn the freaking house down with the flames that come out of it. And then when you master that polarity, I flirt with my friends. See you next week, Queen. I can't wait. Her work is amazing, by the way, as well. And Thorhilder, I adore you in your work. It always inspires me so much. And I love I'm so excited to connect with a fellow sister who inspires me, who's in the same field. So then the sky's the limit with what you can achieve, with what you can accomplish in relationship. And I like to flirt with my friends. I like to flirt with my mother. You get to flirt with everyone. And then you get to build relationships that are truly fueled on passion. And that's hot. That's enlivening. I want to have that in every relationship with my clients. That's magnetic. Passion isn't just reserved for intimacy, for partnership. No, passion is a necessary life force energy that we can bring into every relationship we come across. Yeah. I haven't taken a sip yet. It tastes good. Any questions for me? Pop them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, pop any comments, questions in there. I'd be happy to answer them on the next live. I'd be happy to answer them in the comments. I love to talk about this work. I love to talk about the work I do. I also love when you give me your feisty objections. I call it objection handling in sales, because then I get to also learn, like, where's the resistance, and give me new angles to speak to it. And if I don't know what the resistance is, well, then I don't have an opportunity to speak to it, and I want to speak to it. So thank you to Beautiful Queen from Beautiful Couple. You know who you are, who gave me that insight today for this live. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Ciao.